my name is Rosanne and welcome to the first week or first installment of the 7-week Chakra Workshop. So today is our week 1, which is going to explore the first chakra, which is the Earth Chakra, all about rooting and grounding. So when you are ready, we're going to start in a standing position in mountain. So take your time, no rush. You will need for this practice as well maybe a block or a bolster or a cushion to prop your hips up towards the end. But when you're ready, let's meet in standing mountain. See you there. So welcome to Yin Yoga and Soundscape. When you're ready, we're actually going to start in mountain today. As today's theme is going to be around grounding and linked to our first chakra, Root Chakra, which is all about stability, grounding. Our first chakra is our base and the foundation to the other 6 chakras. So today we're going to work mostly on feet, legs, hips, that kind of general region. Nice. So as we get started in mountain, you might want to close your eyes, having your feet about hip width apart. You might want to rock the weight forward and back, noticing where your center weight of gravity is. Finding your center point of gravity. Spreading the toes into the floor. And as you think of the toes spreading into the floor, then think of your feet. 2 small rectangles, squaring those feet into the ground. And try not to lock the knees, keeping the knees soft. I'll start a bit more of a yang approach in our practice today. As the root, and in yoga, it's the push to rise. So keeping the knees soft, think about pressing the feet into the ground. Strong through the legs, that foundation, and feeling the legs activate, pressing through the floor. Keeping the belly and chest soft, spine lifting, so that push to rise, that rising through the torso, keeping the shoulders soft. And you can activate the fingertips if you like, or you can keep them soft with a more yin approach, up to you. The back of the head aligning with the spine and the crown of the head reaching up. If you haven't already, you might close the eyes, noticing how it feels to stand in mountain. Finding your center point of gravity, distributing that weight over both feet. You might visualize those feet as 2 rectangles. You might then visualize both of your feet as 1 big rectangle or square, rooting into the floor. The push to rise as you inhale, rising to stand tall. Feeling maybe any energy or vibration through the feet, through the fingers, as you push through the feet. That energy of the breath as you inhale, feeling that maybe uplift, expansion. And exhale, softening and rooting into the floor. Nice, take your time. Let's arrive here with 3 more breaths. As we arrive, grounding in that physical sense, contact with body and floor, the earth. Grounding as you make our arrival to be here now. Nice. When you are ready, let's start to wriggle those fingers and toes and notice how it feels to bring some more movement after that static posture. Perhaps you'd like to rock back and forth along the feet. You might open the eyes just for some stability. Just noticing how that movement may feel. Nice, and then we're going to come into our next pose. Let's just bring more movement. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale, reach the arms out. You might activate a bit more as you inhale, circle the arms up. And then as you exhale, push the heels of the palms to stretch and activate through the arm, pushing the heels of the palm away. That's it. Go for 2 more in your own pace. And your last one. Nice, and then from there, let's inhale, reach the arms up. And then on your exhale, let's reach forward as we hang in Ragdoll. So we might know this one in Half Yoga's Ragdoll, so we're just going to bring a bit of movement first. Shake the head, yes or no, swing side to side, perhaps fold the arms. If it feels too intense, place the elbows onto the knees, keeping those knees soft, feet rooted into the floor. But as we're approaching in Yin Yoga, arriving into our Yin practice, we approach this pose as dangling pose. So as the feet root into the floor, as the knees soften, as your torso folds over the legs, where is your edge? Is that quite intense to hold the body up? Do you need support? Perhaps you might use a bolster to prop your head on top of. Perhaps you might use a chair or prop to pop your elbows on top of. Making sure that you feel safe to release, safe to let go, being in this inversion. Really nice. Noticing, is there anywhere else that you could let go of that a little bit more? Notice the depth and pace of your breath, the strength of your legs. It's a bit more of a yang posture within the yin sequence. But noticing the earth beneath you, the support of the feet and the legs. And with that safety of support, we surrender, releasing any tension through the back, shoulders, neck, arms, fingertips, the jaw, the cheeks, perhaps noticing the space in between the eyebrows, the forehead unraveling. Perhaps if the breath is a bit restricted with the torso folded over to the thighs, like we do in child's pose, can we breathe into the side and the back space of your body? Finding your edge, that space where you feel safe, in your comfort zone, edging towards a space of slight discomfort, so you can ease yourself in breath by breath, as you can surrender breath by breath. Experiencing being in your own body. There is no rush, taking your time, your 3 final breaths here. Nice, and in your own time, you might want to gently bend the knees more and slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Head will come up last. So that you arrive and you can take movement, perhaps maybe rolling the neck, side to side. Perhaps giving the shoulders a shrug, or gently swinging the body side to side, or perhaps you would like to find mountain again, noticing how it feels to be upright again. Notice how it feels for that inversion now to be released. Entirely up to movement or stillness. Notice how your body responds, that rebound space. Being sensitive to notice what feels new in your body. But when you are ready, you might start to make your way down. As you inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale to fold, and then when you do fold, placing the hands onto the ground or coming into all fours. Where we're going to bring ourselves into toe hold. So tucking the toes under. Hands can stay on the ground for support. You can even have the hands closer or further away, depending on how intense that feels for your feet. You can sit the hips back. You can place the whole weight of your body into the toes if you want to wedge and sit on your bolster and do that for extra support. You can. But what we're aiming for is the toes, and even try to get the pinky toe as well to spread onto the floor, to feel that stretch through your toes, through your feet. If it feels too intense, perhaps you might also wedge a cushion just underneath your knees or your ankles. It just helps with support. Remember to find your edge. Find where you feel that intensity is breathable, bearable, doable, that you can hold here for another 2 minutes. Noticing the sensations in your body, that grounding, through focusing in toes to floor, sensations from toes up the feet, feet to ankles, ankles to shins, knees to calves, thighs, both the upper and the back, and the hips. Relaxing your shoulders and head. Deeply breathing in. Slowly breathing in. In your own time, taking your 3 final breaths here. And when you're ready, gently start to walk the hands out and down into all fours, lifting the feet up very gently and just give them a little point and flex. Notice how your feet release, what feels new there. You might then just gently tap the feet onto the ground, perhaps releasing of any energy, excess energy there. Notice how your feet may tingle, feeling that energy move through that stretch, releasing tension, releasing out of your feet. Nice. And then if you'd like to take some movement, you might flatten the toes onto the ground, so the tops of the feet are onto the floor. Inhale through to cow pose. Exhale round in the back, and you can tuck the toes under, cat pose. Inhale through to cow, flattening the feet. Exhale, rounding to cat, tucking the toes under. And if you would prefer to be still, then you can settle into a child's pose, which is where we're going to start the next one, so entirely up to you. Movement or stillness. Whatever your body needs right now, tuning in. Nice. And then on your next exhale, if you're moving in your cat pose, end of the exhale, start to sit the hips back. Option to have the knees together, knees out, hip width, perhaps maybe mat width, the big toes together. Option to stretch the arms out, arms folded, or you can have the arms rested alongside the body. The forehead rests onto the ground or perhaps onto a cushion or block if the ground feels too far away. As we come into child's pose, again, knees together, hip width, mat width, arms extended or not. Noticing how that may feel in your back, in your hips folded as the hips are compressed, knees, ankles. And this slight inversion, grounded to the mat, forehead to ground or cushion. Noticing the points of contact that you have with the floor. And letting your body surrender here. Noticing your breath. Perhaps it may be a bit restricted at the front. Can we breathe into the side and the back space of the body? As we breathe, as we hold, as we resolve to be still, surrendering with each exhale. No rush. In your own time, let's take our 3 final breaths here. And when you're ready, taking your time, let's start to guide the hands beside the knees. And as we roll up, the head will come up last. As we roll up from there, it might feel quite nice again to come into cow and cat pose. And you might add a little side to side there as well. Let's bring a bit of movement. Do feel free as well, if your body is craving for it, you can take a downward dog. Entirely up to you. As you bring some movement into your body after holding still in child's pose, notice anything new in your body, tingles, sensations. Grounding is being in your physical body. Noticing the contact with floor, noticing the sensations that you feel in your body. To be here now. Nice, let's take another couple of breaths here. And when you feel even on your sides, when you feel ready to, we're going to tuck the toes under and walk the hands into transition into Malasana, into squat pose. So in Malasana, I'll go through a few variations. It might be the feet together, it might be the feet out wide. The hands can rest down, or you might bring the palms together. With it being yin, I'm going to also suggest that you might pop a bolster underneath you for support, remembering that you need to find where it feels safe for you to be in your edge. That might allow you to then put the heels down. Nice. And then placing the palms together, drawing the knees out lightly. That rooting down. Feeling the feet beneath you. Feeling the earth beneath the feet. As we hold in Malasana, squat pose. Perhaps feeling pressure through the hips. Bone opening through the lower back. Relaxing your shoulders, softening jaw. You can close the eyes if you're feeling balanced. Noticing the palms lightly pressing together. As we breathe, finding where you feel safe that you can hold here for about 2 minutes. You don't feel safe, perhaps it's past your edge, you need more cushions underneath, or you need to come up higher. You can also do this on a chair if you want to. Rooting down through the feet. You might repeat the affirmation, I am anchored as I am connected to the earth. I am anchored as I am connected to the earth. Feeling that physical presence in your body and that physical connection to the ground, to the earth. Nice. And there is no rush at all, taking your time. your 3 final breaths here. And then taking your time, let's release those hands down if you haven't already. Option here, you might want to come all the way up and just give those legs a good extension after being creased, and put pressure on through the poses. You might give it a little shake out. You might want to be still finding a mountain pose. You might want some more active movement, so you might come in to a downward dog. Pedaling the feet, giving some movement there. Or again, you can come into cat-cow. Opening up the chest, rounding the back. And again, there is an emphasis that there is no wrong or right, just exploring what your body needs. If it needs movement, take movement. If you're not really sure what to do, you can stand in mountain. To notice what feels new in your body right now. Perhaps any tingles, sensations, feeling those tingles and vibrations through maybe the releasing of that pose. So perhaps the hip flexors, the lower back. Noticing whatever contact you have with the floor. Rooting down through that contact. So if you're a mountain, the feet. The hands on the ground, through the hands. Let's take one more breath here. Nice. And then start to bring movement if you haven't already. And in your own time, I'm going to start to guide ourselves to come onto the ground. We're coming into butterfly pose. So that's going to be the soles of the feet together and the knees out. We're doing it upright. So if you find this difficult, you can always prop yourself against the wall, your back against the wall. But otherwise, we're here. You can also pop cushions underneath your hips as well if that feels more supportive. You can sit on the edge of a cushion or block and allowing just that support. You can also pop some blocks or cushions underneath your thighs for support. Just make sure you've got two even so that they're supported. Nice. And the option, if this is where your edge is, to stay upright, hands can relax, you can close the eyes. If it feels that your body wants to invite it in, you might take a fold, you might fold forwards, you might prop the bolster or cushion in between the feet, use that as a prop to prop the head up on top of. And that can be as high or as low, depending on where your edge is. Feeling again the ground beneath you, and as we're in this posture, working through the hips, through the legs. So relaxing the torso, the shoulders. Still deepening that breath through the belly, feeling that uplift and rise up through the chest. And breathing out. Where can you soften to surrender? To let go of a little bit more. Noticing any areas that feel resistant or tension, making sure that you're at your safe edge. And with the edge, we breathe to expand that comfort zone, opening up the body. surrendering of any resistance, tension. Slowing our breath down. Telling and signaling to your body that you are safe. I am safe in this pose. I surrender. And there is no rush at all. Your 3 final breaths in whichever variation that you're in. Nice. From there, if you folded, start to guide yourself up. And then taking your time, removing of any props. You might just want to extend the legs out first. Perhaps you give them a little shake out. You might want to bring the feet out mat width and just gently sway the knees side, center to side. Nice. From there, just placing the block to the side as we were using that after, or actually we might use it in this pose as well, so you can pop that to the side. And then when you're ready, we're going to start to lower ourselves down and perhaps just take a moment to lie flat on the ground in a mini Savasana. Noticing how it feels to let the hips sink and the extension of the legs opening up the front of the hips. Again, noticing any tingles, sensations, anything new. And then when you're ready, gently start to just guide the legs together and then guide your right knee in. So we're going to go through progressively. This might feel enough so you can stay here. This is option 1. Option 2, to start to bend that left leg in so the foot's on the floor. Going to draw the knee out, holding the ankle. Well, the arm is relaxed, so your right hand holds the ankle. Final option, you might take hold of the inner arch of the feet, or sometimes it feels better to hold the outside of the foot. Take the heel up as you come into half stirrup poses, a bit like happy baby pose, but again we call the name differently in Yin Yoga. If that feels okay, you might extend your left leg out. And again, if that feels too much, you might play around with bringing the heel down. So having a bolster, you might again use that bolster to prop the leg up. So you can use the bolster as a support, so you're still getting that deep opening as you draw the heel up, but the leg is just supported with the bolster, so you've got that contact with something to feel supported. So up to you if you want to pop a block just underneath the thigh. And once you've found your edge, resolve to be still. Can we soften through the upper body, the head? So if the head needs a pillow, feel free to pop a pillow underneath. Can we release as much tension from the arms and the shoulders, focusing in just in that lower part of the body. Perhaps if that left leg feels not supported, you might pop a block or a cushion underneath there. If it's halfway through bent and halfway through extending, perhaps it just needs a cushion underneath there. As we breathe, resolving to be still or slowing down, to surrender with each exhale. And in your own pace and time, taking your 3 final breaths here. From there, start to slide that left leg in. Stacking the right ankle on top of that left thigh. You can stay option in here and rebound in stillness. Or if you prefer some movement, then feel free to place the feet out mat width and gently sway the knees side, center to side. And windscreen wipers, you might want to stretch the arms out, palms face up. Inhale, center, exhale, knees sway to the side, and whichever option you take, notice what's going on in your body right now. What feels new? What is moving through your body right now? Nice, and when you're ready, take your time. We're going to come into our other side. So first, we'll start with the legs extended out. And just release the legs again, just opening up through in that mini Savasana pose, noticing that opening through the front of the hips, the extension of the legs. And then when you're ready, we're going to bend our left knee in this time. This is option 1. You still got that pressure in the hips, so find what feels good for you. If you feel okay there, start to bend that right leg in. Start to turn that knee out to the side, and you can hold the ankle with the left hand. Right hand can relax onto the belly outside. If you want to hold with both hands, you can do that too. Or you might take the outside of the foot or the inner arch of the feet, taking the heel up, knee still bends, and it's still bending out to the side. You can pop a block or cushion underneath that thigh for support. And if that feels okay, You might then also extend your right leg out. Finding what feels good. You might also, perhaps it feels like less tension, hook the first two fingers in between the big toe and the second. Perhaps that is less tension than holding the foot. Entirely up to you. Whichever option you choose, can we let go of as much tension through the hand and the arms, as much as we can, from the shoulder, the neck, head, resting the head onto the pillow if it feels it needs that support, as we're focusing in on that lower half of the body. Focusing our poses around that root chakra, which sits at the base of your spine. And that's why we're doing so much work of focusing in on more of the hips, more of the legs. As our root chakra is all about stability, our basic and survival needs, feeling safe in our body, as it's the foundation to the rest of all of the 6 chakras. So working through these poses, moving energy through that area, stretching and folding, compressing, releasing, noticing what arises, what releases, as we hold and as we breathe. And taking your time, there is no rush. Your 3 final breaths here. Is there anywhere else that you could surrender that little bit more? When you're ready, releasing the hands, releasing the legs. You have the option again to stack that left ankle on top of the right thigh. So you might bend that right leg in. You can rebound there. You might take the feet out mat width and gently sway the knees side, center to side. Entirely up to you whether you need movement or stillness. Notice what feels new, what energy is moving through your body, sensations that are moving through your body right now. Cooling or heated sensations. Observe what's going on in your own body. Nice. And then taking your time. When you're ready, we're going to come into our final or second to last posture. So we're going to need that bolster or cushion or block. So when you're ready, you're going to place the feet about hip width. You're going to push through the feet, lifting the hips, so squeezing the glutes to lift up, and then you're going to place that bolster underneath your hips. So think of it supporting the base of your spine, like gentle pressure there, massaging the base of your spine, supported into your hip bones, your pelvic bone. It helps to have something maybe a bit soft so it doesn't press into your back. Coming into supported bridge, you might have the hands on the belly, you might extend the arms out, you can extend them up as well if you like. And we're going to stay here with the knees bent. Noticing how that may feel with that gentle weight and pressure into that prop that you're using, massaging that lower back, the base of the spine where that root chakra resides and lives, exists. Nice, and you have the option, you can stay here. Or if you would like, you might explore the option of extending the legs out. Just make sure you feel safe there, that the placement feels comfortable for your back. Extend the legs out. As you add the extra, perhaps the weight of the legs down onto the ground. Noticing how that changes, that feeling there in that supported bridge. If it feels too intense, you can always bring the feet back in. Remember, you want to practice safely within your edge, within your own limits, taking care of your body. And taking your time, we're going to be here for about another 2 minutes. No rush. Attending to your breath. Grounding with each breath. Grounding in that sense of surrendering your body. Feeling safe to let go. Safe to soften. In your own time, your 3 final breaths here. Nice, and when you are ready, taking your time, let's guide those arms in alongside the body. Let's bring one leg in at a time, placing those feet back down onto the mat. From there, feeling the toes spread into the floor and start to squeeze the glutes. Tuck the tailbone under, lifting the hips as you push through the ground. And start to remove of that prop underneath you. Start to release the spine safely onto the ground. And let's just take a moment there. Perhaps you might shuffle the feet out mat width, knees together in constructive rest. As you notice the sensations that you feel through that area, the base of your spine. Perhaps a heating sensation, cooling, tingles. And then if you'd like, you might take movement, gently swaying the knees side, center to side. You might want to hug the knees in towards the chest, taking a counter. You might stay still there, holding knees to chest pose, or you might gently rock side to side, massaging that lower back, entirely up to you. Nice. And then taking your time, taking whatever movement feels good for you. Feel free to pop any extra layers on, turn the big lights off or a light off, take glasses off. As we come into our final pose, corpse pose Savasana, you can do that with legs extended out. You can pop a bolster underneath or a cushion underneath your knees, your thighs, letting the toes fall out to the side. Pop a blanket on top of you and get comfortable. And as you get comfortable, noticing your body spread across the floor. Noticing the contact that you have with the floor, with the earth. Is there anywhere that you could shuffle to allow yourself to spread across that ground a little more, to feel more comfortable? Grounding as we settle into our physical body and that contact with the ground. Grounding as we arrive back home into our body, back home to ourselves. Noticing how you may feel right now physically, mentally, emotionally, energy levels. As we let go of feet and surrender the legs, opening up in Shavasana as we unravel the spine, soften the belly and chest, dissolving of tension through the shoulders, to the arms, down to the fingertips. The head rested into the pillow, to the ground. Neck, throat softening. As we release the jaw, as we release eyeballs, eyelids, eyebrows, and space in between the eyebrows. Forehead unraveling, space in between the eyebrows soften. Surrendering your body. I am safe. I am here. Present in my body. I surrender. Noticing physical contact with body and earth, the ground, your clothes, the air brushing against your skin, the air exchanging when you breathe in and out. As you start to notice where you are, as you start to bring awareness and perhaps maybe some movement to your fingers and toes, to your hands and your feet, to your head as you gently rock the head side to side. There is no rush. When you're ready, you might take a full body stretch. And then take your time to hug the knees in towards the chest as you give yourself a big squeeze and hug. And keep your eyes still closed as you gently bring movement, noticing how it feels to move. Gently rocking side to side. You might roll over to the left using your arm as a pillow. And taking your time, feel free to guide yourself up using your right hand to lift yourself up into a comfortable seat. The palms at the center of the chest. As we arrive back into our day, as we arrive back home to ourselves, to be here now. Feeling free to set any intentions, planting seeds of being safe in your body, or safe and belonging, or being present. And let's arrive back with that intention. As we close our practice, inhale to circle the arms above the head, palms together. Exhale, hands down through center. Namaste. Thank you for joining practice, and I hope that you found it grounding and centering. I hope that you take care of yourself, and I look forward to sharing our next practice on the sacral chakra. Take care. Bye.